Okay, friends, we're going to be doing our bug projects now. Eventually what we're going to do is turn our bug drawings into a foam plate, kind of like a stamp almost, and use some ink and print it onto a piece of paper to get a print of your bug. But before we do that, I'm going to make a background piece to add your bug to. So you're going to get a piece of paper, and this one is not done. This is just the in-process piece. Your paper needs to please be the long way, which is portrait style. The first thing we're going to do is the magnifying glass. So as usual, I'm going to draw with a Sharpie, but you're going to use a pencil so you can erase if you need to. I'm going to use this as my stencil. It's kind of like a paint palette. I'm going to have it flat side down, bumpy side up, and I'm just going to hold it tight and trace around. I'm going to take that off, and now I'm going to get a circle stencil, and I'm going to want to put that right in the middle. So how will I know that's in the middle? Well, all the edges should be the same. Is this in the middle? No, because this part's thinner than this side. What about this? No, we want it right in the middle. We're going to hold it tight and trace. Okay, so my handle, I am going to do this with a pencil so that way I can erase some parts later. So for the handle, we're just going to do 2 lines that go about from the middle at the bottom all the way down to the bottom of the paper. After we get the handle in, we're going to draw some parts of the hand. So I'm going to alternate back to that Sharpie because there's part of the handle that will need to be erased, which again is why I used a pencil. So for your hand, what we're going to do is we are going to have our 4 fingers coming across one way and our thumb coming across the other. So I'm just going to do 4 bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can make them smaller as they go down if you want. They're basically 2 M's that are touching each other. Okay, now I'm going to do some nails in them. So I'm just going to do some lines across with a curve. Now my hand's looking a little flat. So what I need to do is I need to add a curve around those to give it a bump. So I'm going to come up off that first finger, curve around, and come back to that other. Now that I've done that, I need to go in and erase that line that's going through my hand. So that was the part I needed to erase. Now I'm going to do my thumb, and my thumb is going to kind of come about this way here. Again, we're going to just do a nail, but this nail is going to be a little different. It's going to look sideways. And same thing, I just want to do a curve that comes out from that thumb like that. And there we go. Now we have our hand in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and now trace these lines. Now we're going to do some grass. Now in the grass where the magnifying glass is, you need to make it big because the magnifying glass is going to magnify everything. So in here, I'm just going to do kind of like a curved wavy line that's wide. And now I'm going to do one on this side. And I can maybe do another one. Maybe there's one behind it that's kind of overlapping. And then I'm going to try to figure out where that grass would come from. So about right here, I'm going to do a line that comes down to the bottom of the paper. And then another one. I want this piece to be thinner than this because basically that magnifying glass is magnifying it. So then I'm going to do one here, a thinner line that comes down. And then this one, same thing. Try to find the middle where that would come out in the middle. And then do a thinner line that goes to the bottom. If you want to do any more, you can. Like maybe I want a strand that goes right here. Again, find the middle of where that would come out and draw a thinner line. So the goal is to have your line in your magnifying glass thicker than it is down here. Okay, so now that I have that, if there's any more grass that goes into my magnifying glass, I need to make sure I'm following that same thing. But I'm just gonna go ahead and start to add some more details. You can now do some flowers in the background. We're gonna avoid the magnifying glass at this point. We can do some more grass. I might do some thin pieces of grass that kind of come out. Now, when you think about grass, grass moves in different directions. It's in different lengths. might do some flowers. So here I'm just going to do a center of a flower and maybe some petals. This guy, his petal kind of goes behind that magnifying glass. And then maybe like a leaf coming off that flower. I want to balance that. So if I do a flower over here, I want to make sure I also do one on this side somewhere. So maybe I'll do something here. You might have to work around some of the grass you have and create some overlapping. So see with this leaf, it might have to stop and then come out here. And then if I want anything in my sky, maybe I'll do like a dragonfly in mine. So here's what I'm looking for. When you're working around the background, are you doing things on each side? Think about that balance, all right? It does not have to be symmetrical, whatever you do on one side exactly the same, but we want to add equal distribution of weight. So if I do some flowers and dragonflies over here, I also want to make sure I do some things on this side as well. So I'm looking for that balance. I'm also looking for that magnifying glass and how that grass interacts with it. Is the grass in your magnifying glass where the glass is touching it bigger, and then does it get smaller as it comes out?